Alternative therapies.
I prefer black magic. But
black magic, whatever you'd like to call it, we like to discuss it. This week, tapping. Sophie, you're tapped.
I've tapped, yeah, a little bit, but I have tapped. I was given a demonstration of tapping after being hypnotised for fear of being in enclosed spaces. And I went to Paul McKenna and he hypnotised me, and this was about 10 years ago, and he said, I'm just going to show you something that might help. And so he taught me to tap in case it came up and I felt that I was getting anxious or something. But over to Jeremy about the tapping, because you really know about it.
So I'm a fully trained practitioner of emotional freedom technique, EFT. It's very, very good for addiction. It's very, very good for fears, for phobias.
Tapping.
Tapping?
Literally, are we taking our literal face value? We're talking...
Completely right.
Can we tap now?
We can tap, yes, absolutely.
Let's tap.
What we're doing is we're actually striking a certain sort of collection of acupuncture points.
Right.
And when they're struck in a certain order, they have a kind of emotional release. You just tap with these fingers. You tap onto your eyebrow, then onto the edge, it's called the inner canthus of your eye, underneath the eye here, and you go underneath your nose, and you go down onto your chin, tap there, and then you come down onto your shoulder blade, and you have to sort of tap on the shoulder blade, come down onto your rib here, under your arm, and then you do a little series on your hand where you tap onto your thumb, and onto the first finger, middle finger. You actually skip the next one, you go onto the little finger.
No.
What you do is you kind of rate your emotions on the particular subject. How much am I gagging to have a cigarette? And then you run through it and you see how you feel at the end of it.
So this is something that anyone can do?
Anyone can do it, and that's the simple thing about it. It takes you about 10 minutes to learn.
Isn't there a site on the website that, who is it that
Gary
gentleman
Craig is a guy who's really
That's
sort of
right.
championed it. The thing I love about it as well is that he crystallised this whole thing, and then he gave it away to the whole world, so anybody can go onto emofree.com. I know, it's not about getting rid
How
of
to get
emails.
rid of your 15-year-old teenager.
Is this going to be something where, like decades and decades of therapy, psychoanalysts, shrinks, is this going to be something that they're going to have to adopt, or are they going to have to
They can
start learning
choose to,
it?
why not? It's a great idea. And it's also quite good for pain relief as well, oddly enough. You can actually kind of talk yourself out of pain relief, because there's an awful lot of, mental involved in pain as well as the physical. Gary Craig got a whole sort of selection of videos you can watch. And one is a woman who has got hydrophobia, and she's never been able to face water for like 20 years. She can't even go into the shower. You see this little kind of interview with her, and he's saying, you can see over in the distance there's the swimming pool, and she's going, yeah, I can, I'm not really comfortable with that. So they start tapping on this, I have this fear of water. Within about 15 minutes, she's in the pool.
Wow.
Lying on her back with Gary Craig holding it, and she's never been able to go near water in 20 years.
I just get really, really excited because I just think the older I get, the more I see that people's lives are run by their emotion and that they can't cope with certain things much. Addiction, I think, is because people are emotional, they're not grounded.
Okay, we like to give it a little bit of a score,
Yeah,
break
so-
it down a little bit.
Okay, go on.
On a scientific scale.
Because it's an early developing thing, I give it a 2. I mean, it's 20 years old that's come into the sort of, Westerners' brains. I would...
Maybe you could start
most of the drugs
tapping.
your doctor's prepared to give you are about, a year old?
Weirdness scale. I mean, I'm finding this a bit obscure.
Yes.
A bit of that. Thinking positive.
Oh, yeah,
For
it's-
you,
You'd have to see the proof of it.
a 5 on the weirdness
I
scale.
see what you're saying,
Yeah,
yes,
it's
absolutely. I suppose it is right.
We don't understand it, but it works.
You do feel incredible after you've done it.
Okay.
You get great kind of emotional kind of releases where you sort of feel like the weight of the world's been taken off your shoulders, and I think that must be fun, surely.
If not, if you didn't think of it as some kind of form of therapy, you could at least feel like it was someone constantly trying to get your attention for like 45 minutes. How you doing? How you doing?
So altogether, was it fun?
Tapping 555.
So for 555, I was about
Why
to say give
not?
it a score.
I'm going for it.
555, 555. Tapping. Can't quite understand it. Don't really know what it is. But apparently it's fun. Go try it yourself.